So today, we are talking about, Aries is the star sign of the month. And so we are going to talk about the origin of Aries, which is actually the first star sign of the constellation. First star sign of the constellation. I turned into a robot. I don't know why I'm not a robot. So Aries the ram. Aries the ram. So I'll show you this image, and you might think, well, there's absolutely no ram here, but this is where we're going to start with a lovely couple playing with their children. Yeah. Are they playing with their children? Maybe not. So this is a story that starts with this couple, and it's a story of jealousy and, I was going to say revenge. It's probably not revenge. It's definitely a tale of really, really bad parenting. So the couple are, the man is King Athamas, and the lady who is his wife, but crucially his second wife, is Ino. And Ino is a very, very jealous second wife, and particularly she is a very, very jealous stepmother. And so she hatches a plot. So her eldest stepson, so this is King Athamas's child by a lady called Nephili. So her eldest stepson is Phrixus, and then he has a younger sister called Hele. And the children in this image are not Phrixus and Hele. We're going to come back to them. There's a postscript to this story, so watch to the end. So Phrixus and Hele. Ino doesn't like them at all. She particularly doesn't like Phrixus. But instead of having them sent away to boarding school or something, she hatches a really, really horrific plot. And the horrific plot begins with Ino sort of causing the harvests to completely fail. So she has a word with the gods, and she says, please, can you make the harvest fail? And I'm like, that's not very nice, but she's like, only in our area, it's okay. Okay, so they do. And what happens when the harvests fail? Bear with me. The king, Athamas, he thinks, my goodness, we have upset the gods. We need to do something. So I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and consult the oracle. And what happens when you consult the oracle? Altogether, we all know by now that when you consult the oracle never really comes up with anything happy or particularly helpful by and large. So the oracle, as Ino knows, because Ino has got to the oracle first and has somehow, she's got something on the oracle, on him or her. Is the oracle a man or a woman? I think it's a them. That's the oracle. So she has got something on the oracle to bribe them into saying what the oracle decrees. And the oracle decrees that in order to save the harvest, so of course then in order to save everybody in Athamas's kingdom, he has to sacrifice his firstborn son, which is Phrixus. What a cow! So this is her stepson. She's like, bad harvest, oracle, bit of bribery. It's a really dark story. Or blackmail even, who knows? I don't know what went on, wasn't recorded. And so Athamas goes to kill his first child, Phrixus. As I said, this is not Athamas and Phrixus. Unbelievably, bad parent of the year, this one. So So this is what happens. This is what happens. Okay, so now we're moving on. Now we can see a little bit more ram action. Excuse me. So Athamas goes to kill his son, and luckily his mother, Phrixus' mother, Phrixus and Hele's mother, Nephele, she has caught wind of this horrific plot, and she is praying like mad to the gods, who kind of are probably thinking, well, this is all a bit of an odd story, and frankly, Ino is behaving very badly, as is Athamas. And so they send, right at the last minute, this golden ram to save Phrixus and his sister Hele. So the ram scoops them both up, and off he gallops, trots, what do rams do? Off he goes into the sky, because it's a flying golden ram, obviously. So you can see here that Phrixus, who's not looking very childlike, I've got to say, he doesn't look like a little boy, but he is quite comfortably, thank you very much, sitting on the back of the ram. Hele, unfortunately, is not sitting comfortably on the back of the ram. So Hele is actually in the water. Is he about to pull her to safety? No, he is not. He does try, but she was originally on the ram and she's fallen off, and Hele dies. And she dies in a stretch of water. She falls into a stretch of water that was called for quite some time Hellespont. It's now the Dardanelles Strait, I think. It's the bit between Turkey and like between Europe and Asia, so Turkey. So that's the end of Hele, I'm afraid. So she's finished from this story. Phrixus, on the other hand, he does manage to find safety away from his father. Good news. And so he sacrifices the golden ram to Zeus as thanks for being saved. So the ram is then taken from Zeus as it's been sacrificed, and it is thrown into the heavens as the constellation, which becomes the sign for Aries, so the star sign Aries. The Golden Fleece has a far more interesting, my God, I think I've just said the Aries aren't interesting. The constellation is there, but then the Golden Fleece also has an interesting life, and becomes embroiled in this in the story of Jason and the Golden Fleece. It's given to King Aeetes or something, and then Jason tries to steal it. That's a whole other story. But same ram, just got separated from its fleece. Fleece, Jason story, ram sacrificed into the heavens as a constellation. So this image, you can see it's very, very old. It's from Pompeii, from a wall painting in Pompeii. Much sort of copied, particularly. Here we go. Here's a copy of the same story of a fashion. This is by a Greek artist. So same story of Phrixus and Hele, and poor little Hele falling off the golden ram. But this is by a Greek folk artist. Probably around about the turn of the 20th century. He was working late 19th, early 20th century. The artist is called Theophilus Hatzimihail. Hang on. Hatzimihail. I knew I'd got some syllables around the wrong way. Hatzimihail. Who lived and worked mostly in Mytilene in Greece, and it's in a little folk museum that's dedicated to him. So he's not a particularly famous artist apart from in his local area, but I thought this was quite charming, and apparently he was quite a character. So here he is, old Theophilus Hatzimihail, who used to wear Greek national costume pretty much the whole time. So I think people slightly took the mickey out of him, maybe just a bit, poor thing. In fact, I don't think I know. Like, there's stories if you look him up, but like, people are really mean to him. I don't know what it is about this guy, but people are quite mean to him. I think he was quite an eccentric character. Yeah. Anyway, so I was looking at the image that he created of Phrixus and Hele, and I thought, oh, has he modelled Phrixus on himself? Yeah, it could be a little bit. Not, the sort of composition is the same as the Roman original, but the moustache isn't really the same. And then I thought, no, he hasn't modelled it on himself. He has modelled it on we're back to Tom, aren't we? Sorry, but separated at birth. There you go. There he is. Tom Selleck. I think we can probably find a lot of art that might be, or a lot of male protagonists in arts that are modelled on Tom Selleck. Let's hope so. Marvellous. So there he is. Any excuse to bring in the Selleck. But, okay, so finally, so that's what happened to Phrixus and Hele, but let's go back to this image because there are two more children here who are having a pretty rough time of it. As I said, King Athamas, not father of the year, Ino, not mother of the year, certainly not stepmother of the year either. So the story goes on and they have children of their own, and at some point, somewhere along the line, they really, really, really manage to aggravate Hera, and she is really properly pissed off with them. And so as her revenge, she makes Athamas mad, and this is his children with Ino, and so he actually kills one of his children, and the other one Ino takes with her, and they jump into the sea together, and that's the end of them. So a horrible postscript, pretty grim story. Sorry about that. This is an image, by the way, by an Italian artist that I hadn't heard of before, Gaetano Gandolfini. It's in a villa somewhere in Italy. So not a particularly famous piece, not a particularly famous story, but a pretty grim story. So all that for Aries. See, all that for Aries. But yeah, at least Tom Selleck got a look in. That's all I can say. There we go. Let's turn off these horrible images, these tales of woe. Cancelled. They've changed the way it's all done again. There we go. Turn on commenting. There we go. Oh, hello Mike, and hello Aaron, and hello, there's 3 other people there. So yes, so that's the origin of Aries. Not a happy story, apart from for Phrixus, who was fine. Poor old Hele didn't get much of a look in, and at least we know what happened to the ram's fleece. Wow. Story of the day. Will your Thursday get any more convoluted or perhaps desperate? We have got to love a bit of Tom, Adrian. We do have to love a bit of Tom. But, he does seem to be ubiquitous in art. Great Tom Selleck session, amazing build-up, yes. Of course, everything I do every week has to be about Tom Selleck now. New obsession. I really wanted to put the Magnum PI music onto the stories, and you can choose it. You can choose music from Instagram, from Spotify or something. But I think it's only got a limit, and for some reason, the theme tune to Magnum hasn't been deemed important enough or searched for enough, probably, to be included. If that made any sense. Anyway, I don't know whether it did. So everybody, have a lovely day. I hope you don't get too chilly. I will see you next week. See you next week, and have a lovely weekend, whatever you're up to. Just get ready to go out and about, to sit outside restaurants. I think so let's hope it's nice next week, because that's all we're going to want to be doing, I would imagine, many of us. Just speaking for myself, perhaps. So maybe I'll do next Elevenses from outside a restaurant. Maybe I won't. Okay, speak to you soon. Take care. Thanks for joining. Bye.